This terrifying story happened to me and my friend Mike. After finishing finals, Mike and I decided to drive to Atlanta for a major track and field championship. We packed our bags and hit the road in my old car. The weather was sweltering and my car didn't have air conditioning, so we relied on the open windows to stay cool. By evening, the sun was setting, and it finally started to cool down. On a nearly deserted bypass road, we rarely saw another car. After driving a couple of miles, we were surprised to see a police checkpoint. It was unusual to come across one on such a quiet road. Pulling over, we were approached by a state trooper in his 40s. Something about him felt off. He kept glancing around nervously and asking strange questions. After checking my driver's license, he wished us a safe trip. Just 20 yards down the road, my car's hood started to smoke. I pulled over, popped the hood, and was greeted by a blast of hot steam. The engine had overheated. I tried to restart the car, but it wouldn't budge. Within minutes, the same trooper pulled up behind us. He offered to tow our car to his house, saying his friend, a mechanic, could fix it in the morning. Desperate and out of options, we agreed. After a 20-minute drive, we arrived at an old, dilapidated two-story house with dim, flickering lights. The trooper told us to head inside where his wife would greet us, while he went to the barn nearby. The house was in awful condition. Mold covered the walls, and the floors looked ready to collapse. From a nearby room, we heard a noise. When we peeked in, we saw his wife chopping meat on a large wooden block. She greeted us with a wide smile and told us to wait in the living room down the hall. The living room was unnerving. The walls were decorated with the heads of dead animals. The table in front of us was strewn with tiny bones, and a tub filled with severed cow heads sat in the corner. The trooper's wife appeared again and asked if one of us could help her. Mike volunteered. She smiled and led him away. A minute later, I heard strange noises from the other room, but was too scared to check. Suddenly, a towering figure, at least 6.5 feet tall, burst into the room. He was wearing a bloody mask, his clothes soaked in red. He raised an axe and charged at me. I bolted for the front door, but it was locked. Panicking, I ran into the kitchen, hoping to find another exit, but I found no one. As I searched for a way out, the trooper's wife entered the room. I tried to explain that someone was trying to kill me, but she smiled coldly and said, "That's just my son. He's only 15. Before I could respond, she slapped me across the face and everything went dark. When I regained consciousness, my legs were bound with barbed wire. To my horror, Mike was hanging from a hook nearby, his body drenched in blood. Ignoring the excruciating pain, I began to free my legs. The barbed wire tore into my skin, but I kept going. As I worked, the trooper appeared. I screamed, "Why are you doing this?" He sneered and replied, "Guys like you used to bully my son. Now it's his turn to get revenge." He punched me hard, then left. I called out to Mike, but he didn't respond. Through sheer determination, I managed to free myself. I stumbled over to Mike, trying to lift him off the hook. He screamed in pain, and I accidentally dropped him, driving the hook deeper into his body. Overhead, I heard footsteps. Someone was coming. The trooper flung the door open and spotted me immediately. "You little punk!" he shouted. I grabbed a metal hook lying nearby and hid under the table. As the trooper walked past, I jabbed the hook into his leg. He collapsed, clutching his wound. Fueled by adrenaline, I grabbed him by the hair and smashed his head into the floor repeatedly until he stopped moving. I rushed back to Mike, but he was barely conscious. "I'll get us out of here," I promised. I climbed upstairs, searching for anything to help us escape. The room I entered was filled with the bodies of at least 20 people, all horribly mutilated. The stench was unbearable. In the corner, the trooper's massive son was chopping meat with his axe. I tried to sneak past him, but a floorboard creaked under my weight. The boy paused, but then returned to his task. Suddenly, the trooper's voice boomed from the basement. "Kill him, son!" The boy charged at me, and I barely escaped into another room. I barricaded the door and realized I was not alone. 3 men sat at a table, eating what looked like human flesh. They turned to me and laughed. "Looks like dinner just arrived," one of them said. Spotting an open window, I sprinted toward it and jumped out, landing hard but alive. I ran until I reached the road. Collapsing to my knees, I laughed hysterically, grateful to be free. But then I heard a woman scream from the house. I froze, torn between running to safety or going back to save her and Mike. Summoning every ounce of courage, I turned back. I'll never forget what happened in that house, but I'll carry the scars, both physical and emotional, for the rest of my life. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any new creepy legends and mystical tales. There's a lot more to come, so stay tuned and be ready for more encounters with the unknown. Look out for the next story.